My lovers, welcome to my channel. My name is Made for Love, and today I'll be doing a what have they realized reading. So we're going to look at what has your person realized about you and the connection. What have they realized about themselves? And remember, that's always an interesting question to ask because we are always mirroring each other. So maybe what they've realized about themselves might be some kind of epiphany that you might be going through at this time. Okay, so let's get into this. Oh, I just want to thank you guys for the wonderful feedback that you guys gave on the ancestral clearing. I myself felt it very deeply. And if you don't know, we were advised to clear the energy of anger, especially repressed anger. And let me tell you guys, I mean, you guys can tell me down below, but we're going to call it purging, right? I've been purging a lot of anger this weekend. Like, it's very difficult to get me to that point of anger. I mean, I can be a little annoyed at little things, yeah. But angry, no, I'm not like that. Or maybe I fool myself that I'm not like that, right? Because I can hold a lot of things inside and then, it's just an explosion. Taurus. But this weekend I just really let it loose. And I felt better. And I felt better. Like, why didn't I do this before? Right, so I've been doing a lot of purging there. So you can let me know as well. Now we get this card again, confusion. Right, I think it was in a reading last week, if I am not mistaken, right? Somebody being quite defensive. Look at the posture here, right? Very protective, right? Very self-protective. And it's because they're just really not sure what to do in a particular situation, right? There's the indecision there, and with the indecision comes a bit of insecurity, um, um, and maybe a bit like they don't have anyone in their corner, that anyone may not understand what they're going through, what they're dealing with, that kind of thing. I do see that there are some ancestors around, spirit guides, source energy, angels, right? It's people in spirit though, right? That are trying to help them and guide them. But this person here, they're distressed. What I'm feeling here, they're distressed. Oops. Okay then. Some of them might be sick as well. All right. Let's get their energy generally, just as a baseline. All right. It's the same energy, isn't it? It's at the impasse, right? Just and look at the hand gesture. I don't know what the fuck to do. That's what that hand gesture says, doesn't it? Right? They don't know what to do here, right? It could be as well. They may feel blocked, but the other energy that I'm getting, especially with the moon in the background, for me the moon in this card today symbols the great unknown and the things that are happening behind the veil. So what that tells me is this impasse or the confusion that your person is experiencing right now is something that they must experience to come to that point of clarity that they need to come to that point of. Okay? So there's something that's stuck here, right? There's something that's stuck. There's something that's not quite moving along as they thought it would. Maybe they never thought they would be in a situation like this where they feel torn and not sure what to do. But Spirit is saying this is what needs to happen at this time for this person to dig deep, because they're not going to resolve this conflict, because this is what's causing the stagnation. It's conflict, right? Internal conflict. They're not going to resolve that internal conflict and by extension the external conflict in their life until they get the clarity that they need. This person has two people, or maybe several, who knows, right? Personalities, let's call it personalities or ideologies that's kind of at war inside of them. So there's a person at war with themselves. So they need to come to that point of clarity, that point of peace. And from then, once they get that, they'll know exactly what they need to do. It's going to become crystal clear. They'll be like, why didn't I think of that before? Well, they couldn't, right? Because they didn't even know who they are. It goes back to, who they are. Well, I'll pull some cards on that for you. But they feel stuck, but they're not stuck. It is the same energy that we've been getting, which is the in-between. Right? The in-between. And even if we go back to, I think it was a ghosted no communication reading of last week, and you can just check. So that's going to be maybe around the 30th of October, 31st, somewhere there of October. It was the same kind of conflicted energy that made them ghost or disappear, right? Not knowing what to do, not knowing how to resolve, and then just that war within is what made them, disappear. I mean, it's an immature thing to do, but I think this is someone that was just absolutely overwhelmed with everything that was happening, right? Guys, do you know which card I have right now? I mean, there's only so many times we can get it before we have to realize this is not someone who's trying to be obtuse. This is not someone who enjoys being stuck. This is not someone who is trying to play both sides of a situation. This is someone who is genuinely confused and feels torn apart. Look at here again. And this, I love how this is illustrated here. I love how this is illustrated. But what I like as well is the emotions that's been allowed. They're allowing all the emotions to flow. They're allowing the insights to travel down their channel. This is someone who's truly searching for the truth and a solution to something. Look at here, right? So how much times we're gonna get? This is just someone, they're confused as fuck. And it's causing them great pain. Look, we see the same energy traveling through, right? Now, look at this person's aura. It's black. And usually when I see someone whose aura is black, it is because they are depressed. Okay? It is because they're depressed. Certainly persons who are ill can have a black aura, like very, very ill, can have a black aura as well. But once I see this, it's usually depression, right? But it's not someone who has given up. This is someone who's opening themselves to receive because they feel like this is something that they need the help of something greater than themselves to resolve, right? Because even though I'm trying to convey to you, I'm feeling like the same stuck energy, like it can't express the magnitude of what's happening and just how it's just overwhelmed, how overwhelmed they feel. This is someone who is asking for a miracle. This is someone who's asking for divine intervention at this time because they don't feel like they can do this on their own. This is how acutely this person is feeling this energy. I feel kind of sad, but it's something that we all go through. That reckoning with self, right? That reckoning between emerging ideologies and the old. It's what we go through when we go through our awakening. It's all part of the journey, right? It's all part of the becoming. Five of Swords, internal conflict again, and Five of Swords even goes beyond that because this is now when you're making conflict on the outside of yourself, right? Which will happen if you're conflicted inside in it. All right. Let's see this impasse. We have Justice. It's also the energy of not wanting to hurt other people. But, that's a kind of impossible task, especially when you decide to truly love and choose yourself, right? It means that people who would have been benefiting from you not prioritizing yourself previously, they're going to feel a little bit put out, but it has to happen, right? So this is someone who's trying to be fair to all involved. So whatever decisions they have to make right now, know that they're not taking this lightly. This is not a game to this person, right? This is truly someone who wants to be authentic. We have Seven of Swords in reverse, who wants to be authentic, wants to be open, wants to be true. And it is also the energy of someone undergoing the ego death, Six of Wands, in reverse. Okay, they are in pain. That's their energy towards you. So this is someone who misses you because you were the sunshine in in my life. That's a sound that I heard when I picked up the card. You were the sunshine in their life, right? But even that is kind of toxic because nobody should be your source for survival, for happiness, for excitement, for adventure. Nobody should be that, right? You have to generate that yourself. From the time you're relying on other persons outside of yourself to feel like this, then you're doomed to be unhappy, right? Because people are fickle, and at the end of the day, people have to choose themselves too. So from the time you're relying on somebody else to make you feel like this, you're gonna be in trouble. Right? So maybe you guys aren't interfacing like you used to. You don't have the same dynamic, right? Maybe you are choosing yourself. Maybe you're choosing yourself, right? And that means turning all that beautiful sunshine onto yourself, right? So I think they're feeling your loss really strongly, really intensely at this time. But the upside is they get to work on themselves, and they have been working on themselves and their own passions and projects, right? Instead of looking for distraction in you and other people, they are searching for meaning within themselves, trying to find out why they're here. Now let's ask, what have they realized about you and the connection? Well, we have the Nine of Wands. And this is someone who's ready for battle. So I feel like they found out that it's worth fighting for. We have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, and that there's a possibility that they may have lost you. Oh my. Ten of Cups in reverse. All right. So this is the energy of someone who feels they've lost it all. Okay. So it is the energy of defeat. But this person has not given up on you guys. They're in pain. All right. We see that here. Ten of Swords. Right. They are in pain, and they're holding their head in their hands like, what have I done? Right. That's what they're thinking. Right. So they realize they made a boo-boo, to put it mildly. And this is them coming back with Page of Cups. So it feels like they feel like they owe you an apology. This is what they've realized. They realize that they owe you an apology because they did you dirty, right? Ten of Cups in reverse, Ten of Pentacles in reverse, right? It looks like they fucked up royally, right? And they know that. And maybe that's why they might be a little, remember we saw them kind of guarded in that first confusion card. Maybe that's why they feel a little bit guarded, because this is someone who has a sense of justice. We saw that with that Justice card. So they feel like if they screwed you over, then their days for being screwed over by you is numbered. Right? So right now, this person's kind of on guard because they feel like they're going to get some sort of karma. But it feels like from this that we're seeing here, they are already in that kind of, let's call it feels like a kind of purgatory space, isn't it? Right? They're going through their own torment right now. Right? Maybe they've realized that, maybe they haven't. But this is someone who is tormented, and they're tormented by the past. This is also someone who feels like you slip through their grasp, that they have lost you. That they have lost you. And I feel that this is why this pain card is coming through. But that grief energy is what is opening them up to spirit. It's like I surrender, right? This is a surrender to spirit, recognizing that they've tried to maneuver this whole situation through their usual manipulations and all of that, and nothing has worked. Nothing has worked. So they haven't given up on you, but this is someone who is grieving. And maybe that's what they realize as well. They're grieving. So they realize they owe you an apology. They realize that this is grief. It's what grief feels like. They realize that they potentially may have lost you for good. But they also realize that they still have some reserves and they are willing to fight for this connection. They're quite determined here. I mean, look at his facial expression. Okay. So this feels like, I've seen this underneath the deck, feeling like a kind of recon. Right? Reconnaissance here, having a look, assessing the situation and trying to figure out, like, what is their best move, right? And look at what they're looking at. They're looking at you enjoying your best life. My God. All right. What have they realized about themselves? We have the Eight of Wands reversed, that they're stuck. And then that song starts playing, stuck on you. They're stuck. They realize that they're stuck on you. They're stuck on you. They thought that you'd be somebody that they could easily forget. Hit and run kind of business, right? But look, they screwed themselves over. They're stuck on you. Maybe that song is a message for you today. Stuck on you. What have they realized about themselves? We have the Page of Wands in reverse. Another feeling of, demotivation. It could feel like defeat also. We have the Knight of Swords. So they're recognizing a lot of truths about themselves, see themselves clearly. And it's the harsh light of day, right? But they needed that because this person would have remained asleep, continued to hurt you, continued to hurt other people. They've had a rude awakening. They've had a rude awakening. And they see as well that they abused their power, okay? And they may have, whether emotionally or otherwise, abused you. But they only did that because they themselves, as a child, was abused. Now, for me, Page of Wands in reverse is a child whose spirit was broken. It's like the death of the inner child. And that points to either very severe physical abuse or some sort of child sexual abuse, right? So this is someone who is deeply wounded, but there's a feeling here like they didn't realize how very deeply they were affected by these childhood experiences and how much it impacted upon their relationships until this moment. Their guardness, right? Their defensiveness. And I think we got a message about defensiveness last week. So it's all kind of coming together, right? So their defensiveness, which came from a place of fear, a fear of being hurt again, a fear of being abused again, is not something that they did purposefully. This is something instinctive that they learned to do in order to protect themselves as a child, and then not recognizing how much they brought that over into their adulthood. So they're unpacking a lot of baggage, right? And really seeing themselves, the people in their lives, and you from an objective standpoint, right? For some of you guys, your person might be either married or may have been married before, so they could have been divorced. They're looking back at that relationship, and also making some changes because they're acknowledging their part, maybe for the first time, maybe before they're like, okay, their partner was the reason everything fell apart. But now that they're looking back at that with objective eyes, maybe they're seeing how their defense mechanisms may have sabotaged that relationship as well. It feels like this is someone who's never truly opened up to another person. They've never truly been vulnerable. There's always been this inner child that has never really let anybody in. And this is something that they're realizing about themselves. All right, let's look at their thoughts and feelings for you at this time. When they think about you and they think about this connection, what's going on in the mind here? We have moon in reverse. So seeing everything clearly with regard to your relationship. But this is also like a feeling of wanting to come clean about certain things, revealing secrets, right? So we have revealing secrets. We have Six of Pentacles in reverse, recognizing that they weren't reciprocating in your relationship. We come back to the confusion again, with the Two of Swords, and then we have the Three of Pentacles, here, right? So this person's instinct is to come through, to make contact with you. And there's things that they may have done to you in the past that were unfair, right? Unbalanced, or may have created a karmic debt or imbalance in your relationship. It feels like they want to apologize for that, right? Because this person has plans. This person has plans for this connection. Guys, 1 second. My screen has gone dark for some reason. And I don't want to think that my phone is dying, but I can only see that as being the only reason that would happen. And I thought it was fully charged there. Just give me 1 second here. Let's see if I can pause this or something. I'm so sorry about that. Well, maybe maybe it's reflecting that person's state of mind. That's really strange. Yeah. Yeah. So this person has plans for you guys. I see them here, at the drawing board. But to even get to this point where you guys are collaborating, working together towards a common goal, there are things about the past that they need to fully ventilate, right? And I think this is where the confusion comes in. But it's not really confusion, It's fair. It's fair of the consequences or potential consequences of their actions. How are things going to play out? It's not confusion. It's fair. We have thankful. Let's look at their feelings for you at this time. We have empathetic. So because they're now going through their own little crisis, they're now able to empathize with where you were before, and certainly the ups and downs and the roller coaster of energy that you may have felt. Because it feels like maybe at some point in this relationship, you were more emotionally invested than they were. And maybe they couldn't understand some of your responses, or maybe even the things that you were trying to convey to them about how you felt. But now that they're going through this, they can easily empathize with what you felt before. We have trusting, so they definitely do trust you, see you as trustworthy. Whereas, they're on guard. I think they're also recognizing as well that they self-sabotage. And it all boils down to fear. Fear of abandonment. They don't want to get too close to anybody, right? So they sabotage relationships by acting out, by ghosting, whatever it is. This is what their instincts make them do. And then we also have the energy of sad. So again, I think feeling your loss. Let's put some cards on these. see empathetic. Right, we have the Dark Mansion Tarot. Right, so finally recognizing, you went through a lot with them. You went through a lot. Okay, and they couldn't appreciate that at the time because they were just not emotionally invested in you as you were with them. They weren't in your shoes, and they couldn't connect to you. Maybe it feels like their heart was closed. We see them here in the energy of trusting. Two of Pentacles in reverse, which goes to the Ace of Pentacles, right? And because they trust you, because they care, because they love you, they don't want to play games with you anymore, right? So it's juggling back and forth. They don't want to do that. So some of them may have withdrawn completely whilst they try to figure the shit out. Self-sabotaging, right? This is something that they're trying to transform and change because they realize this doesn't serve them. And maybe in the past they self-sabotaged by being in this player energy, this Knight of Wands, right? Back and forth, non-committal, right? From the minute that you feel like you're connecting with this person, they disappear, that kind of thing. So they're realizing that doesn't serve them, right? They have to make a change. Now they're sad. Why? Yeah, because they love you, right? And also for some of you, if there's another person involved, they care about that person too. So they realize whatever decision they make, whichever way they turn, somebody that they care about is going to get hurt. And maybe that's what's causing that confusion there, right? But this is what they created, so they gotta sort it out. Okay. All right. So in the extended, what we're going to look at is what have they realized about the third party. We're going to look at what might be happening in that connection at this time, and then we're going to look at their next actions in that situation, and then the next actions towards you within a month of you watching this reading. Okay. All right, guys. So that was your reading. I hope that it resonated. My calendar is still open for booking, so if you need anything else cleared from your family tree, or you need a check-in for the 1111 portal, or you need a spiritual checkup or anything like that, I'll put the link in the description box. Okay. All right, guys, take